Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, October 25th, 2016, a big day for sports, especially the city of Cleveland. It was the opening day of the 71st season of the NBA. Cleveland played at home, beating the Knicks. Right next door was game one of the World Series, where the Cleveland Indians were at home hosting the Chicago Cubs, who hadn't been in a World Series for 71 years, not since 1945. 71st season of the NBA, 71 years since the Cubs were in the World Series. Yesterday's date, October 25th, 2016, it was a date with 71 numerology. As you see at the top of the screen, 10 plus 25 plus 20 plus 16 equals 71. Fitting day for the 71st season of the NBA to begin, and also for this World Series with this connection to the Cubs. As I have been educating about for 3 years, professional sports are scripted by the numbers. When you learn numerology, when you learn gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, you can see through this scripting in record time. Think about this very quickly. This year's NBA championship will be in the year 2017. 1-7, the reflection of 71. Ohio is the 17th state. LeBron James and the Cavs, obviously from Ohio. A lot of people don't know that LeBron James and Steph Curry were born in the same hospital in Akron, Ohio, the same hospital that Nate Thurmond was born at, who is truly the father of LeBron James. Nate Thurmond wore the number 42, played for the Warriors and the Cavs. 2 years ago, the 2014-15 season, I pointed out how on February 26, 2015, LeBron James scored 42 points in that game, what the significance of that 42 was, and I said why the Warriors and Cavs would be the NBA Finals that year. I got that right. Last year at the beginning of the season, I said we're going to see a repeat of the Warriors and Cavs. And right now, the games have just been played. I almost feel that there is enough evidence from the games of the first night between the Warriors and Spurs and Cavs and Knicks that we're going to see for the third year in a row, Cavs and Warriors. We're going to talk about why. What else we're going to talk about in this video is LeBron James' scripted triple-double, how that was a tribute to Freemasonry, as well as the death of Len Bias, who died June 19th, 1986, 30 years to the day that LeBron won the NBA Finals. Game 7 against the Warriors, June 19th, 2016. Same date in history, Len Bias died, who was thought to be the major, huge star coming to the NBA, who was drafted between the Cavaliers selecting and the Warriors selecting. The Boston Celtics took him in 86 with the second pick. Cavs had the first pick that year, Warriors the third. So anyway, we're going to talk about all these things. We're also going to talk about the third game played last night, Utah Jazz and Portland Trail Blazers. If you missed my preview video yesterday, I mentioned how the Utah Jazz were the only team in the league with a gematria of 113, special number to the NBA. The Blazers beat the Jazz with 113 points. If you missed my preview video yesterday, I'll link that in the bottom. Real quick, just to start, I want you to notice that the Cavs won with 117 points. Ohio and Jewish gematria equals 117. They also defeated the Knicks by 29 points. Meanwhile, the Spurs defeated the Warriors by 29 points. 29, a significant number to Ohio. Let's go through this. Let's talk about why Warriors and Cavs are looking good for the third year in a row just after opening night. This was either just a major tribute to Ohio or it is foreshadowing for what's to come, which is very likely. Ohio in English reduction gematria sums to 29. Again, the Warriors star Steph Curry from Ohio, the Cavs star LeBron James from Ohio, from Akron, born in the same hospital. Ohio is the 17th state. The championship this year will be in 2017. The Cleveland Cavaliers were the 17th team to join the NBA, and NBA equals 17. Also interesting, This will be the Cleveland Cavaliers' 47th season in the NBA. Last night was game 1 of the 47th season. Ohio equals 47 in simple English gematria. So think about this. First game of the 47th season. They win with 117 points total connecting to Ohio, and they win by a margin of 29. Again, 17, the reflection of 71, 71st season of the NBA, starting on the appropriate date. The first NBA championship was won by the Philadelphia Warriors, who became the San Francisco Warriors, who became the Golden State Warriors. They won that in 1947, the Warriors did. Warriors, 47. Cleveland in their 47th season. Based on last night's tribute, this is why I'm already leaning towards this being the NBA Finals. I was already looking at these patterns. I talked about this in the preview yesterday. Now here we are after the games, both losing by 29 or winning by 29 and losing by 29. And I bet you if the NBA Finals is Cavs and Warriors again, the Cavs win this time. Think about it. LeBron James will take 2 of 3. What's his number? 23, you know? Steph Curry born on Pi Day in the year 88. Last year, the Warriors won 88 games, including the playoffs. They got their 88th win exactly 88 days after Steph Curry's birthday. Last night, the Cavs defeated the Knicks, who finished with 88 points. In the offseason, the Warriors acquired Kevin Durant 88 days before his birthday. He's also born in 88. So anyway, Steph Curry born in Akron, Ohio, March 14th, 1988. LeBron James born December 30th, 1984, in Akron, Ohio. His father is Nate Thurmond, who died 27 days after the NBA Finals concluded, where LeBron scored 27 in the final game. Notice that Nate Thurmond, again, who wore 42, who had his number retired with both the Cavs and the Warriors. 2 years ago, LeBron James, season-high 42 points against the Warriors. One of many clues. Dropped about the finals to come. Anyway, this year, Nate Thurmond dead 27 days after the NBA Finals. LeBron James scored 27 in Game 7. The Cavs played 103 games this season. 103 is the 27th prime. Hours before the game, I put out a video before the game even began. I said, look at this. Anton Yelchin, the actor, reported dead at age 27. I showed how he had 103 birth numerology. I showed how 103 was the 27th prime. This actor died just before Game 7 of the NBA Finals with 103 birth numerology, dead at age 27. The story was he crushed himself with his own car in his driveway. How does that happen? They said the car was in neutral. How does that happen? 103, the 27th prime. Hours later, the Cavs in their 103rd game of the season win the NBA Finals. LeBron scores 27. Then 27 days after the NBA Finals, Nate Thurmond, dead at age 74. 74, a number having to do with ritual sacrifice. After Game 1 of the NBA Finals, you might recall that Muhammad Ali died at age 74, a death that I predicted in 2014 would happen at him for age 74. Muhammad equals 74, special number. Muhammad Ali became boxing champion in 64, the year Cleveland had last won a sports championship as a city. Lots of ritual sacrifice during the time of the NBA playoffs. Gordie Howe, the hockey legend, died at age 88. The Warriors got their 88th win, then they didn't win anymore. He died in Akron, Ohio. So anyway, all this ritual sacrifice, this is very relevant. People need to know about this. If you're fans of these leagues, you're fans of something very sick. It's scripted sports. It's ritual sacrifice. It is run. The reason all this is happening is because of who runs your NBA. And just take a look. It's not hard to see who runs it. It is Jewish people. And if you read your Bible, and I'm not a Christian, but I'm just saying if you read the Bible, there's a lot of knowledge in there. The final book of the Bible says the false Jews will rule in the end times, and their name is the synagogue of Satan. That's who the Jewish people are that run your TV. They're the false Jews. They have their false Jewish state, Israel. These people are satanic. They're a cult. They think they're better than everyone else. They hate black people. They're a death cult. They murder a lot. There's a lot of ritual sacrifice in this world if you're awake to what's going on. People need to wake up. Scripted sports, wasting your time, your energy, giving your money to tyrants who murder the people that so many of you worship, these athletes. We're going to read about LeBron James dying earlier than he should when he's older. Just watch. LeBron James has so many negative numbers coded on him. Nike, the first company to sign a lifetime contract with this major insurance policy on him. He probably, if I had to predict what age LeBron's going to die at, I bet you LeBron dies at age 54. That's a while from now. Just remember that. Remember that. People watching this probably think I'm mad. We'll get to why I think he's going to die at age 54. It has everything to do with his father right here, Nate Thurmond. This is how sick this world is. I bet you that's a prediction that's going to land. LeBron James dead at age 54. Just watch. These people are the worst. So anyway, LeBron got another triple-double against New York City. Last year, he closed out the regular season with a triple-double. He did it again this year. Last year, he got the 42nd triple-double of his career. 42nd. NYC 42. LeBron James 42. Freemason 42. 42 is a number often paired with 153. In the Bible, there's the miraculous catch of 153 fish. Miraculous equals 42, fish 42. Nate Thurmond equals 153. 153. 153 often paired with 42. Look at Nate Thurmond's body. This is a big, tall man, incredibly athletic, way ahead of his time. Phenomenal basketball player. Same receding hairline as LeBron. This is definitely LeBron's father. He was murdered as a ritual after the Cavs brought home the championship at the age of 74. Masonic 74. Jesus 74. Cross 74. Messiah 74. They say Jesus crucified on the cross at age 33. Out of the 50 states, only the 33rd state sums to 74. It's because Freemasons have built this nation around us, this language, this culture, these sports, and they've done it all by a numerical code. So anyway, Nate Thurmond the small way sums to 54 like Oracle. Last year, the Cavs won the championship in Golden State's building, Oracle Arena. Oracle Arena equals 93. The Cavs won with 93 points. The Warriors lost with 89. King James equals 89. It was the real King James's birthday, the nickname for LeBron James. The King James Bible, 66 books in length. The name LeBron, the big way, equals 66. Remember, the Warriors' winning streak got snapped at 54 games, a record home streak last year. They beat the Spurs record. Well, the Celtics and the Spurs record. Those are the runners-up. And then look at who whooped them last night at home, the Spurs. And look at who broke their streak, the Celtics. So anyway, 54 having to do with Oracle. Oracle has to do with future telling. I'm telling you, when Nike signed that lifetime contract on LeBron, which I had a video on, all sorts of negative numbers on that. Someday these companies, when they ritually sacrifice LeBron way ahead of schedule, they'll get a nice payout on it because they have the lifetime contract on him that's worth a ton. Go read about it. That same night, the Warriors' home streak got snapped at 54 wins, winning streak. The Cavs are in their 54th win of the season. I have a video from that night. I said, here's more proof that the NBA Finals is going to be Warriors and Cavs. It's in the book. ESPN had the doubleheader on that night. ESPN with the 54 coding, not a coincidence. All scheduled, all planned. LeBron James, the day he's born, 12/30, December 30th. Forgot to mention that that's a date with 42 numerology. There's no other 2 days in the calendar year that you can add together like that to get 42. Only December 30th. 42 is a number stamped all over black people throughout history. It represents the most hateful word for black people. That's why Jackie Robinson wore 42. Los Angeles Dodgers equals 181, the 42nd prime. The current manager of the team, David Ray Roberts, equals 181, the 42nd prime. Tiger Woods' birthday. Tyrese Gibson. A lot of black celebrities have this birthday. Makes you wonder. So LeBron, he was born also in the year 84. He was born in 84. United States of America equals 84. So does Nathaniel, the name of his father. Nate Thurmond is born Nathaniel Thurmond. And I'm just thinking about this. With regards to me saying he's probably going to die at age 54, that's going to be the year 2038. 38's the number for death. That'll probably be a rough year for a lot of celebrities. But that's what happens. You read about all these athletes dying young, mysteriously, just dropping dead, in their sleep, unexpected. This is what's going on, people. I'm not saying LeBron James is going to die at 54 because I want to be famous in the year 2038 for calling LeBron James death. I'm saying this because people need to wake up. On this video channel, how many deaths have I shown in the 3 years that I've been doing this? How many more ritual sacrifices do I need to wake people up to? It's all Freemasonry. It's all satanic. It's all these Zionist Jews. It's undeniable. These are the people who run your media, who run your sports. So anyway, we talked about the 29-point losses. There's more to those scores, which we'll get to. I want to point out that last night there were 3 games. 6 teams competed. 6, 66, and 666 all have to do with prophecy. We're going to get to the significance of prophecy. Cavs broke their streak of 52 years last year. In California, notice that Akron, Ohio equals 52. Steph Curry land, LeBron James land, Nate Thurmond land. California equals 52. Cavs hadn't won a championship since 64. They won it 52 years later in 2016. Prophecy 52. When you write out the number 6, it equals 52. Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible, is the book of prophecy, destruction. The number 666 is made infamous in that chapter. In Jewish gematria, 666 equals prophecy. LeBron's been to 6 straight championships. The first player since 66, Bill Russell. Remember, LeBron equals 66. Bill Russell equals 42 the small way, just like LeBron James. So now let's talk about the triple doubles. Last year, just before the NBA Game 6 happened, I put out a video about the death of Len Bias, the number 213. I talked about LeBron James triple doubles. Here I am at the start of the next season. It's deja vu. We're talking about the exact same thing. And this is what I mean. You study the work I'm putting out. You see how repetitive the patterns are that these people who run the NBA, who run pro sports, how repetitive the patterns they work by are. These people script games by the same numbers. They murder people by the same numbers. It's a joke once you see it. To them, it's an occult science. It's a religion. It's a ritual. It's a practice. Looking at what it really is, though, it's just a sickness. So LeBron James, last year on March 26th, he got his 42nd triple-double against the Knicks. Then last night, they opened their season against the Knicks. He got his 43rd regular season triple-double. Here's all what you need to know about this. There's a lot of things that are interesting here between the parallels between New York City and the Cleveland Cavaliers. New York City has the same gematria as Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, NYC's 42 like LeBron James. He did this on March 26th last year, which is typically the 85th day of the year. From the day he did it to the day he won the NBA Finals, 85 days. Basketball equals 85. You see? Basketball number. We saw Villanova win the college championship in 85, and then they won it again in 2016, 31 years later. Basketball the small way sums to 31. Last year, LeBron was 31. They came back from down 3-1, the first team out of 33 teams to do it. Cleveland, the only city that equals 33. The name Curry equals 31 as well. The Warriors came down back from 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals. Then the Cavs did it to them. So anyway, that was March 26th. Now here we are on October 25th, 213 days later. And I didn't watch the game, but multiple people commented that after LeBron James made his first score last night, he ran down the court with his right hand tucked inside of his jersey. And, I didn't see it with my own eyes. If somebody has the image, that would be great. But multiple people commented this who are paying attention to my work and what I'm educating about. When you tuck your hand inside your jacket, your suit, your sports jersey like that, that is a Freemason pose called the hidden hand. LeBron James, no doubt, is in this Freemason network. Nate Thurmond probably was. Most of your NBA players probably are. So many entertainers are in Freemasonry. Why? Because Freemasonry is the network that owns these entertainers. So these people aren't indoctrinated into it. A lot of them are birthed into it. A lot of these athletes, their parents were in the league. Right now in the NFL, the two highest paid quarterbacks are Eli Manning and Andrew Luck. Their fathers were teammates on the Houston Oilers in 1983. Football equals 83. It's 33 years later. Archie Manning got sent that year from the Texans to the Vikings. Or not the Texans, back then they were the Houston Oilers. Now they're the Houston Texans. The Houston Oilers became the Tennessee Titans. Anyway, back to basketball. Here we're talking about LeBron James, who's the father of Nate Thurmond. They don't let the fans know that. They'll let you know that Peyton and Eli are the son of Archie and Andrew is the son of Oliver, but they're not going to let you know that LeBron James is the son of Nate Thurmond. You know why? Because they're farming these athletes just like animals. And in some cases, they'll let you know about it. In other cases, it's just a big secret. Look how many NBA players there are where you don't know who their fathers are. How many men are there in the world that are 7 feet and super athletic? People got to wake up. Anyway, from last year's triple-double against the Knicks to this year's, 213 days. 213, what's that? That's a number coded all over black people. It has a lot to do with the deaths of a lot of young black men, including Len Bias, who died 213 days after his birthday on June 19th, 1986. 213 is also the number for Nimrod, the original Freemason from the Bible. So this number has a lot to do with Freemasonry. 2 Celtics have died connected to this number, Reggie Lewis and Len Bias. Tupac Shakur, his final studio album while he was alive, came out on February 13th. He died exactly 213 days later on September 13th. 13/9, Freemasonry equals 139. Tupac Shakur equals 139. Show you this real quick. Len Bias, dead June 19th, 1986, right after being drafted by the Celtics. His death had a lot to do with the number 71. Here we are at the 71st season of the NBA. Starting on a date with 71 numerology, a major 213 tribute to Freemasonry. Len Bias, one of the greatest NBA talents to ever be ritually sacrificed before he could even get his career off the ground. A lot of people think Jordan wouldn't have been Jordan if Len Bias came in the league. Basketball in Boston also shared gematria of 22. With the S exceptions, both are 31. S exception is plus 9 more. Rules you need to know, watch my how-to gematria video in the description. Both the names Len and Bias equal 31. Len 31, Bias 31. LeBron was 31 last year. Again, came back from 3-1. Curry equals 31, came back from 3-1. Something here with Jordan, Len Bias, and Celtics. Len Bias, his birthday was November 18th. He died June 19th. The day he was born is the 322nd day of the year. The reflection of that number is 223. 223 is the number for Masonic, the synagogue of Satan. A lot of special things in this nation's history are coded 322 and 223. They're reflections of each other. They're interrelated numbers. The NBA Finals in Jewish gematria equals 322. That year where the Warriors and Cavs played each other, LeBron scored 42 for his season high. That was 3 months and 22 days before the NBA Finals began that year. The Celtics won the NBA Finals that year. 4-2. NBA Finals equals 33, and with the S exception, 42. 86 was the first year they were called the NBA Finals. They changed the name that year. Remember, Finals alone equals 61. Last year, Game 7 was on a date with 61 numerology. Perfect. Len Bias, the day he was born, was a date with 111 birth numerology. Celtics won the finals, Celtics won the finals, and then 11 days later, Len Bias died on a date with 111 numerology as well, also connected to the NBA Finals. So a lot of things interesting. I have a longer video on this, which I'll link in the description. He was in Suite 1103 Again, special number to Scottish Rite Freemasonry, Scottish 113, Mainstream 113, Dishonest 113. Yesterday, I put out a preview video before the games talking about how the Utah Jazz are the only 113 team. Kobe Bryant equals 113, retired against the Utah Jazz, plus a whole lot more. Blazers defeat the Jazz last night with 113 points, you know? It's amazing how people can keep coming to my work and saying it's all a coincidence. You know, I'm the most amazing coincidence creator there ever was if you follow my work and you think this is all coincidence. It's amazing how many times I talk about basketball games and the numbers I talk about end up being the score. And the same is true for all the other sports. Len Bias wore the number 34, a number connected to Maryland and murder, played his college ball at Maryland. His full birth name, he went by Len Bias, but his name was Leonard. Leonard, a 33 name, connecting to Massachusetts in NBA Finals. He was drafted in 86. Look at this. The second overall pick. The first pick that year went to the Cavs. The third pick to the Warriors. Cavs-Warriors. Right between that, the Celtics and Len Bias. You know? Died on the anniversary of Game 7 of the NBA Finals between the Cavs and Warriors. So from his birthday to his date of death, 213 days. 213. You know, last year, here's another good one. Last year, Moses Malone died just before the start of the season. Kobe Bryant scored and retired exactly 213 days later. Kobe Bryant scored 60 points in his retirement. Moses Malone dropped dead at age 60. Remember, Moses Malone was the first player drafted out of high school by the Utah Stars. That's what they were called back then. He then went on to play the majority of his career with Philadelphia, where Kobe was born. Kobe ends up, being a player drafted out of high school, ends up finishing his career against Utah with 60 points. Moses Malone, dead at 60. Kobe Bryant finishes with 60. 33 years earlier, Moses Malone had won the NBA Finals, or the NBA Championship, with the Philadelphia 76ers. Last year, they had an awful year, finishing the season 10-72 against the Chicago Bulls. The final game of the season, the Warriors eclipsed the Bulls' record with 73 wins. In the 96 season, where the Bulls had their record season, their 73rd game was against Charlotte and Del Curry, the father of Steph Curry. Then last year, the Warriors eclipsed that record. Steph Curry gets his 73rd win. If you haven't seen all my work on the end of last season, all the tributes to Michael Jordan, NBA past, Kobe Bryant's father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, it's amazing. All of this is just more evidence as we go along of how scripted all of this is, how planned out it all is. And it's all very ritualistic, dark, and sick. It has a lot to do with death. Los Angeles is home of the 213 area code. Kobe playing in LA. 213 days after the death of Moses Malone. Here we are at the beginning of the season, a tribute to 213 again. You know what I mean? So many people have died by this 213 code. It's just amazing. So again, Black History Month 213, Nimrod 213. Reggie Lewis, the game where he collapsed, the final score summed to 213 points. And then he died by the numbers right after that. So some other things that stand out. We talked about the significance of 88 with the Warriors. Madison Square Garden also sums to 88, where the Knicks play at. They finish with 88 points, a number relevant to their team, relevant to time. I'm also thinking about how the game was in Cleveland. We're seeing a presidential campaign between Hillary and Trump, who both have New York connections. Trump had his campaign, or his Republican National Convention, in Cleveland. Trump equals 88. Is there some symbolism in here with the Knicks losing with 88 points? Seems to me there is. Also, the Cavs last year, they played the Eastern Conference Finals against Toronto. Toronto equals 117. Could be a tribute to Toronto in there as well. The scoring in the game, very interesting. 46 combined points in the first quarter. In the King James Bible, the real King James, the official King James Bible, supposedly written by Francis Bacon, who some people say was Shakespeare, in Psalm 46, the 46th word from the beginning is shake, and the 46th word from the end is spear. Shakespeare, 46th word. Also, that chapter leaves 666 chapters remaining in the Bible. And again, 666 connects to prophecy, also NBA Finals. Last year was the 46th season for the Cavs, and they won it on the real King James's birthday, where there's this major King James tribute in 666. This year, it'll be the 47th season, but the Cavs are 46 years old, you know? It's just how, like, when you're born, you're not age 1 the day you're born. You're 0 and you're counting up to 1. So, the Cavs right now are counting up to being 47 years old, but they're in their 47th season. You follow? In the second quarter, 47 points, Ohio. In the third quarter, 53 points. King James has Gematria 53 as well. Final quarter, 59 points, which is a number stamped on black people. It's also a number connected to killing. Might be a tribute in there to all of the death in the times of the NBA Finals. You know, this tribute in this game that is very much for Len Bias. Again, Len Bias, all the 71. Here we are in the 71st season. Again, triple-double in Gematria sums to 139 like Freemasonry, also like Tupac Shakur, who died September 13th. And oh, by the way, Moses Malone died on September 13th as well. And then Kobe had his game 213 days later. Tupac Shakur died on September 13th, 213 days before or after his album released on 2/13 in Black History Month, which equals 213. February, the only month that sums to 42, number stamped on black people. Ends on February 28th, the 59th day of the year, the other number stamped on black people. In the playoffs, LeBron had the triple-double against Toronto. That was on the 139th day of the year. His triple-double yesterday came 66 days before his upcoming birthday, LeBron's 66. It was also a total span of 67 days. The reason that's interesting is because Knicks equals 67, Cleveland Indians equals 67. Yesterday's date was the day that left 67 days left in the year. I thought that the Indians might win Game 1 of the World Series. We'll see what happens tonight with Arrieta. Remember, I'm predicting the series to go to 7 games. I predicted in spring training the Cubs would be here. Just like last year in spring training, I predicted the Mets would be in the World Series. Anyway, a lot of people are already trolling saying, oh, your Cubs are done, they lost one. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to write something like that? Game 1 of a 7-game series? Somebody did write something intelligent, though. Supposedly, out of the last 13 World Series, 12 of those teams have won after winning Game 1. So 1 out of 13. That's the situation the Cubs find themselves in right now. 1 out of 13. What I notice is Game 7 will be 113 days after the All-Star Game, which was won by the American League, which is why the Indians are the home team. Which is something that's just so stupid if you think about it. I mean, how can we... Isn't that just the dumbest thing you've ever heard of? You can be the best team in Major League Baseball, and because your team didn't win at the All-Star Game or your league, American League, National League, because your league didn't win at the All-Star Game, that'll determine who's home in the World Series? I hope I explained that clearly. The Cubs have the best record in the league. They won 103 games this year. The Indians won 94 games. The Indians are at home because the American League won the World Series. Or not the World Series, the All-Star Game. You see? It's stupid. I mean, why is it that way? The best team should have home field advantage. Does the MLB really need ratings that bad for their All-Star Game? I mean, what a joke. But just remember, it's all scripted, so it's all a joke anyway. But just look at these stupid things they put before you. I'm telling you, it's all mocking. Again, the Indians came into this World Series winning 7-1. Cubs haven't won a World Series in 71 years. We'll see what Jacob Arrieta does tonight. With regards to this being the Cleveland Cavaliers' 43rd, or LeBron James' 43rd triple-double of his career, I did a video on Brexit, the number 43, and how it was synced up with the NBA Finals. And I think somehow that's fitting in here too as well, the tribute. A lot of history. Goes back to Cavaliers, division, Civil Wars. 43 is the Civil War number. LeBron and the Cavs, they won the finals last year on Juneteenth as well, which had a lot to do with the Civil War and the freeing of the slaves. Civil War equals 43. Charleston equals 43, where the Civil War began. The Civil War president was Lincoln, born on the 43rd day of the year. Just show you this real quick. Here's Tupac Shakur's final album. Came out on February 13th, the day known as Lupercalia. Lupercalia is the 44th day of the year. Lupercalia equals 44. The word kill equals 44. From the album to his death, September 13th, 213 days, 213. Album that came out after his death was called Machiavelli, had that gematria of 74, like rapper, like Jesus, like cross. We just saw Muhammad Ali and Nate Thurmond die at age 74. The date this came out on, November 5th, remember the 5th of November, that date's written as 5/11 in most parts of the world. That's one of the numbers of Saturn. Saturn's the keeper of time. Another number of Saturn is 93. Oracle Arena equals 93. Cavs won with 93 points. Crucifix also equals 93. You have Tupac on the cross, the hip-hop crucifix. Here it is right here, Truth Seeker. I put it up in this. Also, his album, Machiavelli, was a play on the name Machiavelli. This year, Tupac's mother's death was announced on the real Machiavelli's birthday. And there's this image that's supposed to be Tupac, the last image taken of him before he was shot. He was shot on September 7th, a date written 7/9, murder equals 79. But this image has always had this date, September 8th, 96. That's the Virgin Mary's birthday, September 8th. Tupac on the cross like Jesus. Then they put out this image with the Virgin Mary's birthday. Other people's mothers have that birthday too, like mine. So it's not just the Virgin Mary's. But I do think this is part of the reason that they did this, 9 plus 8 plus 96 is also 113, the number for mainstream, the number for dishonest, the number for his mother, Afeni Shakur. Again, dead September 13th, like Freemasonry, like his own hip-hop name. So last night after the Warriors got beat, ESPN had this up. Steph Curry, looking upset. Minute 21. Why did they put up a minute 21? Because Warriors equals 121, so does Revelation. Remember the Warriors beat the Thunder last year, both times with 121 points. 2 games that were within a week of each other late in the season. Remember, the Warriors are from Philadelphia. Philadelphia is named from the book of Revelation. That's where it gets its name. Warriors, Revelation, both equal 121. Minute 21 timestamp. Another possible tribute here is it's 81 seconds. Chicago in Jewish gematria equals 81. They eclipsed Chicago's record last year. So here's the score, 129 to 100, and here's why this score is so interesting. If you add it together, it's 229 points, which is the 50th prime number. America equals 50, so does Golden State and San Antonio, the teams that played. America in Jewish gematria also sums to 129. So very relevant numbers to the nation in the coding. The halftime score was also 64 to 46, reflections of each other. Again, the Cavs currently in their 47th season, but they're 46 years old and counting up. And also, Oracle Arena equals 93 like Spurs, that number for Saturn, the keeper of time. Spurs, the small way, equals 21, just like the letter U. You got the big U on their uniform on the court. The name Duncan equals 21. Tim Duncan, number 21. Now retired. There's a reason he was number 21. Special number, another number of Saturn. Saturn also connects to 21. So the last game, Blazers defeat the Jazz. What I think of with the Trailblazers playing on this night is they're from the 33rd state, that special number for Freemasonry. They also joined the NBA the same year the Buffalo Braves did, who are now the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. All three of those teams joined the same year, bringing the NBA team total to 17. The Cavs, the 17th team, Ohio, the 17th state. I think this could all be part of the ritual for what's leading up to the NBA Finals this year. If you go back and watch my work from 2 years ago, not last season, but the season before that, I showed how on November 4th, LeBron had his career worst game against the Blazers in Portland early in the season. LeBron James, the big way, equals 114. It was 11/4. It was Election Day for the 114th Congress, which was led by John Boehner at the time, who was from Ohio. John Boehner equals 114, Mr. Orange. But look, the Blazers defeat the Jazz with 113 points. I talked about this in the preview. I brought it up. Utah Jazz 113. Kobe Bryant finished his career against them last year. Remember his poem for retirement was Dear Basketball. Dear Basketball equals 113. Michael Jordan equals 113, who also once retired against the Jazz. Dishonest equals 113. Mainstream. It's exactly what the NBA is. A big scripted joke. And you know, Truth Seeker, you don't really need any of this numerology or gematria to see that the NBA is fake, not a real competition. I'm telling you. As a child, growing up in Portland, Oregon, as a young boy, 6, 7 years old, I could see that the games weren't fair, that they weren't legitimate. Just the way the referees blew the whistle, the way the fouls, the turnovers were called. Michael Jordan all over the court, being aggressive, not getting called for anything. But anyone even breathes on him, he's at the foul line, shooting free throws. Pro sports fans, they just go along with these things. They say, yeah, well, the superstars get the special treatment. Unless they're Cam Newton, then they're treated like they're a piñata. But no, if you guys are watching fair sports, why should there be special treatment for anyone? The game's supposed to be a game with competition and rules. And just look at where we are in 2016 when you watch the NBA. I normally laugh my ass off just because of what the commentators are saying, especially the TNT crew. LeBron James last night, I had the game on for maybe 2 minutes. I was just like, I don't want to watch this. LeBron James caught a pass. He didn't even dribble at all. He did like a quick shuffle step, took the big leap and then went up and just dunked it. And the announcer, he did like the excitement for the thing, and then the other guy said, yeah, but that was a major travel. And the commentators say that kind of stuff all the time. The NBA almost looks just like, professional fake wrestling now. Off the top rope with the elbow. Everything looks like that. LeBron James catching the ball on the baseline, doesn't even dribble, shuffles his feet, and just dunks it. Come on. Let's play basketball. I grew up playing basketball. I know all about basketball. I know all about all these sports. That's how I can see how they're rigged. When I was young, I was talented. I was a good athlete from a young age. I was a smart kid from a young age. Brain, skills. It's something I'm trying to pass off to the masses. The masses who can't see through all this rigged, disgusting bullshit. The one thing I didn't understand before I started this research is how people were being murdered by the numbers. And that, again, is the most concerning thing. So I've been long-winded in this video. I wanted to make it short and quick, but this is the way it came out. I'll be following up on this knowledge as the season goes along. So, please do your part and share this work. And if your friends tell you this is all coincidence or nonsense, or they say I'm crazy, you can know that that person is a fucking moron. Truly fucking retarded. You have to be fucking retarded to think any of this work is a coincidence, and these people just dropping dead the way they do is a coincidence. Stuff needs to be stopped. And also, Truth Seeker, if you haven't donated to my campaign to build the network, to build the Truth Seeker Alliance, what are you waiting for? We need to get this thing built. Imagine if we had this app built And there were people in Cleveland that were organizing right now over this information, saying, you know what we're going to do as a group? We're going to get together. We're going to stand outside Cavs games and educate about this scripting, the tributes to the death of Len Bias. This is what needs to be happening nationwide. People need to be in front of these sports stadiums, giving out this knowledge, bringing awareness, showing people what they're coughing their money up for, the rigged game, giving it to the satanic assholes that are going to kill their favorite players in just a matter of time. All right, Truth Seeker, I can't say anymore. Donate to that campaign, please. $1's all you got to donate. Everybody donates $1. We'll have more than enough to get this whole thing built. You know, give us the tool to organize and put an end to the madness. Pay $1 now, you know, and sooner than you think what's going to happen is we're going to take this world back. We're going to fix a lot of things. We're going to put all these bank corrupt sports leagues out of commission. I'm going to say it again. I said it yesterday. Imagine this. Imagine we end the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, and then what we do is we take these stadiums that we've already paid for with our own taxpayer dollars, and we say, okay, now what we have is we have a new professional sports league that's governed over by the actual communities who are around these teams, and there's rules to play for these teams. You have to be from the state. You have to be from the region, you know. The competition is legit. It's not organized. It's not based on Vegas gambling. It's based on honor. You know what we could really have? We could have all the best local talent playing on teams and regions. We could see what cities really are the best sports teams. Right now we have all these cities that have all these players that don't have anybody, you know, for the most part, that are from their city or even their state. LeBron James is a rare exception. One of the only players that plays for a team that he's connected to. So many teams have all these players from all over the place that have no relationship with the city, and all they are overpaid actors, athletic actors, selling the fans out. In a better world, we could have legit leagues, local talent, you know. Let's find out what city really is the best at basketball. Let's find out what city's really the best at baseball, football, you know. Some places are going to have an advantage because of the geographic location. Like up here in the Pacific Northwest, we get dumped on with rain. It makes it harder to play outside. But you know what? A lot of us, we still learn to play the sports. We play outside. It makes us tougher. Gives us an edge, you know? So anyway, I just keep babbling on, but I'm just so sick of making these videos and people not getting it and saying, oh, this is all just a coincidence every single time, as I call every sports championship in the last 2 years almost. Has anybody ever done anything like this in the history of the world? Some people think it's all a coincidence. So amazing. Until next time, True Seekers.